You're sheltering enemies of the state, are you not?
Yes.
What's going on, YouTube? It's going to be a short and sweet one today, just because I don't think there's a whole lot to it, but I really just want to get your all's opinion, possibly, if I could. I don't know how much you've been paying attention to this. I haven't been paying that much attention today. It just popped up on my radar a little bit more. Two recent stories of Trump-appointed, FBI director, Kash Patel. We talked about him a little while ago, but basically the executive branch going after the judicial branch in two cases. These are judges that have been arrested at this point. One was a ex-judge. He was a judge a month before he got arrested. He resigned from his position. And then another judge in Wisconsin that got arrested. So the first one I want to talk about was this New Mexico judge. He was the one that resigned a month prior to being arrested. Name's Judge Kano. Him and his wife were both arrested for tampering with evidence by the FBI. They basically arrested him at their house in New Mexico. Tampering with evidence in terms of basically harboring an illegal immigrant, allegedly. Obviously, this is all alleged. Until they go to court and get tried by another judge, or however it's going to go down. We'll see what comes out of it. But that's the alleged crimes that these people have committed. But basically, there was an illegal immigrant who also allegedly is part of Tren de Aragua, which is a Venezuelan cartel / gang, which I've never heard of, honestly, before maybe a month and a half, 2 months ago. I'd heard of like some of the Mexican cartels, but I honestly had never heard of any of the South American cartels, except the Medellin cartel from Pablo Escobar and shit like that. But so they're basically charging them with hiding this guy at their home. This guy apparently was living with their daughter or something like that. This dude's basically, like I said, pure speculation. I don't know. The details haven't all come out, but it basically sounds like this dude was banging their daughter, dating their daughter, and they hired him as a handyman, whatever. And he was living in their guest house in New Mexico. And the FBI came to look for him, and basically we'll see what the alleged evidence is for tampering with evidence. I don't know if they tried to somehow cover up the fact that he was here in the United States, period. Like I said, he is an illegal immigrant. As of right now, the thing I was listening to was saying he came to the United States in 2023 through Texas, was given a notice to appear, one of these things that we've been talking about with illegal immigration, where they basically say, we can't process you all, just come back when we can process you, and then nobody ever goes back because there's no enforcement of it. Apparently now they're starting to enforce it a little bit, and now a judge has been arrested. One of them. The other one, in Wisconsin, Judge Dugan, this lady from Wisconsin, much more directly, the alleged offense is the illegal immigrant in this case was in her courtroom, and they basically directed this guy like out the back door, basically away from the FBI. The FBI was there to take him into custody, and I'm assuming eventually deport him. And she basically stepped in and helped, like, redirected him out away from the FBI. They eventually got the guy anyway, but now they're coming after her for this as what is it called? Basically, hindering an investigation / I don't know if this one's tampering with evidence, but it's basically just like you're getting in the cops' way. Basically, you're not allowed to aid a criminal while the cops are coming after him. It's just not. You would think the judge would know that, but it's honestly kind of funny. The weird thing about this is, like, I'm gonna edit the clip in at the beginning if you watch that. This is basically how Twitter is reacting. All of social media is freaking out, like, this is fascism. This is the exact same shit Nazis did, arresting judges, blah blah blah. It's like, okay, I get what they're saying in the sense of, like, yeah, arresting judges doesn't look good, but also there has to be some middle ground where you say, if you're helping criminals, which if you're an illegal immigrant and you came across the border illegally, you're by definition a criminal. You broke the law to come into the country illegally. That's how it works. The law says you get deported. And they're enforcing it now. So if the judge helps you, doesn't matter who helps you. It doesn't matter. Anybody helps. Anybody who's in a criminal act, that is a crime itself. So, okay, yeah, like nobody would ever complain. I'm trying to think if there was a bank robber and a judge helped the bank robber get away from the bank robbery and they arrested the judge and they go, "Ooh, you're arresting a judge." Nobody cared. The only reason they're going after this is because you're down obviously the spectrum of like into crimes. There's a whole chunk of the United States populace that they just don't care about it. And like I'm saying, like the left in general is basically saying illegal immigration isn't a problem. It shouldn't be a crime. Obviously, the right disagrees. The way the law's written, though, I think the law sides with the right. You let me know if you think differently, but I think that's pretty obvious here. And now they're enforcing it. That was Trump's whole promise with illegal immigration. They were going to come for these people. And yeah, now the judges are getting caught up in it that are helping. Anybody who's aiding an illegal immigrant basically avoid the FBI and getting deported, yeah, you're running the risk of getting charged with aiding and abetting a criminal or something like that. So I see no problem with this. I feel like this is complete overreaction. I seem to remember, and I don't know, you guys let me know. Anybody watching this, leave in the comments, let me know. Do you guys remember, like, just a couple, like the last 4 years, they were trying to put Trump in prison the entire time he was running for president, basically? I know that kind of all went away as soon as he became president. It just seemed like to fall off and disappear. But they were trying to put this man in prison. They put people that surrounded him in prison, multiple people. They went after the January 6th people. I don't want to dive way into it, but agree to disagree if you want. But there was definitely people in the January 6th thing that weren't rioting or trying to kidnap people or doing anything crazy. They literally just walked through a building. There was some of them. And they went after these motherfuckers and put them in prison. So these judges, in my opinion, there's innocent people all the time that get arrested, await trial, and then they say, "Oh, actually, you did nothing wrong." Sorry. And if anything, these judges can probably afford to pay their bail, so I'm not really that worried about it, honestly. Like, go through the process just like you put so many other people through the process. There is obviously a line here. Like, if you just start arresting everybody that's your opposition, I'm going to call that out too. But I don't see that in this case. I just don't see it. We'll see more details come out, but it's starting to rain too hard. So, I don't know. You guys let me know what you think. Leave a like on the video if you got some out of it. Dislike it if you didn't. And like I said, let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'd appreciate to hear it. Hope you guys all have a good weekend.